guys, today is a bit of a special video because when you see this, it is my birthday tomorrow on September 18th. And one of my friends here on YouTube actually reached out to me because her birthday is on the 16th. And she was like, hey, do you want to do a birthday collab with me? And I was like, sure. And her idea was that we both kind of talk a little bit about one of our happiest or best birthday moments that we've had, and so that's what this video is going to be about. We are also going to be using the Glamlite Cake palette because, I mean, it is our birthdays, and what better way to celebrate than to use a cake palette, am I right? Now, before we get into actually applying anything, let me tell you a little bit about Katie, which is the person that I'm collabing with. Her channel name is Makeup for Lost Time, and she is so amazing. I freaking love her. Like, let me pull up her Instagram and I will tell you what she says about herself. So her description of herself is basically ex-druggie doing makeup and fighting for social justice. Like, how amazing is it to just be able to like say that about yourself? She is such an inspiration to me. She's one of those people who you either really jive with or she's probably not your cup of tea, you know? But she knows that and she totally rocks it. She does have a little bit of a potty mouth, so if that is something that bothers you, she might not be for you. But if you like someone who isn't afraid to speak her mind, who has a very strong language, and who is just very confident in herself, then I think that you would absolutely love her. She is so cool. Like, she is just cool. Like, it's just the best way for me to describe her. Her content is quite similar to mine. She focuses a lot on indie makeup. She does a lot of very colorful looks. She's super talented. And yeah, I would just say go ahead and check out her channel. I cannot wait to hear what your story is going to be, Katie. Belated happy birthday to you. I know I've already said it to you on Instagram by now, but yeah, let's just go ahead and get into this. So like I said, we are going to be using the cake palette. I'm probably not going to be really saying too much what I'm doing because this is going to be more of a story time type video and it's probably going to be quite long. So let me just go ahead and start by priming my eyes. So every time I go to like talk about my life and like stuff that's happened to me or like my past, I always get a little bit nervous because my channel has grown quite a bit now, and there's something to me about just sharing too much on the internet that makes me a little bit nervous because the more you share, the more people have to judge you on. So I try to keep my channel just very, you know, makeup focused, which is why I don't really talk a lot about my life. I don't really share a lot of, you know, just private things that I'm going through or that is happening to me in my life because I like to keep those things kind of private. But when it comes to my past, I guess a lot of you probably know a lot of what I'm going to say today anyway, because I have talked about it in a video where I told a little bit about my life story, which I posted that when I had like 500 subscribers. So I don't know how many of you have actually been around since then, but if you have, I love you. You are amazing. So I guess I will just kind of start from the beginning, but I do want to talk about my 20th birthday because that was by far the one that, when she mentioned the idea, it was the one that kind of stood out to me that I actually remembered because I have a terrible memory and I don't really remember a lot of things that have really happened to me. That's gonna sound terrible, but like, unless it's something that was really amazing or really bad, like it just kind of slips out of my head. So let me just kind of start from the beginning. So I used to play poker for a living, which probably comes as a surprise to a lot of you, but I started playing when I was 15 years old online, and it just turned out to be one of those things that I was really good at. You know, when you start something and you just realize that, you know, this is something that I can do. Like it just kind of comes naturally to you. So that was kind of me with poker. So I played poker basically online from the age of 15 until I was 18. And since I grew up in Norway, there wasn't really any casinos or anything like that, so I couldn't go play, you know, in the kind of tournaments that I wanted to play in until I turned 18. And when I did, I started traveling to a couple of different countries and playing in bigger tournaments there. And just sort of, you know, joining the poker circuit, if you will, and being part of the cool crowd. So I did that for like a year between 18 and 19, and just before my 19th birthday, there was a tournament in London that I wanted to play in, so I was able to get into that with some help from some backers. And on day 2 of that tournament, I ended up signing a contract with a pretty big sports betting website in the UK, who also had a, you know, online poker site. They were called Betfair. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of them, but basically they were the one that was hosting this tournament that I was playing in, and somehow, I still don't know how this happened, but somehow I ended up winning that tournament for a lot of money, but also the company that I signed the sponsorship deal with was very happy because they had just signed me at the start of the tournament. So after that, they really spoiled me. I mean, I was a spoiled brat for the next like 3 years or so when I was working with them. They paid for so many things for me. They flew me everywhere to play in tournaments. They paid for my buy-ins. They paid for my hotels. They paid for my flights. They paid for basically anything you can think of. And it was honestly like the best 3 years of my life, like by far. I had such a good time when I was traveling around playing poker. But like I said, the year that I would like to talk about is my 20th birthday. So basically this tournament, like I was saying, it was held in September, and every year it would be right before my birthday. So I would always be in London on my birthday, and I didn't really have any family or anything like that there because I had to go play all the time. But the year after I won that tournament, Betfair actually put together such an amazing surprise for me for my birthday. So the location of the casino was in Leicester Square in London. If any of you have been there, I wish I had pictures from this time, but after going through so many different computers and phones, I somehow have lost like all of the photos that I had from back in the day, which really sucks. So for all you know, I could be just making all of this up. Trust me, I'm not though. But I do wish I kind of had proof to show you guys, but anyway, so the location was Leicester Square, and that's where the casino was. And next to the casino, there was this kind of small private bar, and Betfair actually booked out this whole bar for me and a bunch of my poker friends to just go have some drinks and stuff for a couple of hours. So we had a whole bar to ourselves. We were able to just hang out. We obviously sat around, talked about poker all the time, and you know, whatever we had been doing the last couple of days, and we had such a good time. And during the time that we were there, they actually came in with a custom-made cake that they had made for me, and on top of it, like the decorations were like poker chips that you can like take off the cake and eat. It was just such a cool little touch, and I don't know, the thought that went into everything that they put together for me, I have no words. Like it meant so much to me. And it's not something that I really ever thought would happen, because it's just so insane to like think back now at that time and like all the things that I experienced and all the things that happened. It's a bit of a blur because it all just kind of happened so quickly, and there was so much going on all at once. But I would never change it for anything, obviously, because those years of my life, I really feel like changed me as a person, and I learned so much, and I experienced so many things that were just incredible. So after we had been drinking for a while, they told us that we should all go outside because they had another surprise for us, and I was like, wait, another one? Like, this isn't the end of it? So we go outside, and there is this pink Hummer waiting for us outside of this club that we were at, or bar, I should say. It wasn't really a club, but there was this giant pink Hummer for us to all just, you know, go in and hang out and have a couple of drinks and drive around London in. And after we had been driving around, just kind of chatting and drinking some more, they pulled up to the Eye of London, which, if you've ever been to London, it's the very, very large observation wheel that they have there. And they had booked a whole private, like, what do you call it, like wagon or whatever, like one of those things that you go in. I wish I knew what they were called. But they had booked a private one for all of us, and inside there was snacks, there were drinks and all kinds of stuff. And so this wheel takes about, I think it's an hour to go all the way around. Maybe it's half an hour. I think it's half an hour. So we were able to be inside of one of those for 2 whole rounds, which was an hour total. And again, we were obviously just like hanging out and having a good time and drinking and just enjoying the view of London, which was absolutely amazing. The weather was really nice that night, and it was just such a cool experience. And I was with people that I really, really enjoyed being with. I made so many good friends in the poker days, which is probably why I don't have a lot of friends right now, because all of the friends that I made back then were males, because there really were not a lot of females who were into playing poker, and the few ones that were, I didn't really get along with them. I mean, I always felt like a lot of the females that got into poker for the wrong reasons, and they weren't really that good at the game, but because they were females, they got so much attention and so many just sponsorship opportunities. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like a lot of them kind of forced themselves to be into the game, and they tried to get good just because of all the opportunities that would kind of come along with that, but not because they really enjoyed the game. Wow, this is ending up in a huge tangent of just things that I probably wasn't going to talk about, but that is not something that is part of my life anymore anyway, so I don't really feel bad about kind of shit-talking the industry a little bit. But My poker life is one of those things that I am extremely proud of, and because of the success that I had, it is also something that I don't really like to talk a lot about, because I feel like in today's age, like if you've been successful in life in ways that aren't socially accepted, or like if you're not, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but like I feel like people who don't have an education and who are successful in ways that don't really benefit society are kind of looked down upon in a way. I'm not really sure, but that's why I don't really ever talk about my past, and why it makes me a little bit uncomfortable, because there's also this thing online where you have to be relatable. Like relatableness or relatability is a huge thing these days, and especially on YouTube, I feel like the people who are the most relatable are the ones that people want to watch. And I just, when I see myself and when I look back at the things that I have gone through and the person that I am and the experiences that I am the least relatable person in the world. Like, I am so privileged. I'm so lucky. I've had such a good life that I don't like talking about it, because I don't want people to feel bad. But on the other hand, I also want you guys to like know a little bit more about me, and like know who I am, and know where I came from, and know why I am the way that I am. But I also just, I don't think anybody likes to be judged, you know? And that is, like I said before, one of the reasons why I don't really like to open up too much. And I'm also a little bit worried about the poker community, like finding my channel, because if you think that the beauty community can be mean, you have never been on an online poker forum, let me tell you that much. Holy crap, those guys are freaking ruthless. And it could also have been that, you know, they were just jealous of a girl having success in the poker world, and that's why I got a lot of shit on the forums. But man, those guys, like, I am still scarred from so many of the comments and so many of the posts that were made about me back in the day that I'm almost like scared to go on forums these days. I still do it because I do like to read about things on forums. Like, I do read on Reddit sometimes, and sometimes I wish I didn't, because it just makes me feel bad. Like, people on forums just want to bring everybody else down, and all they want to talk about is negative, and it just makes me so sad. And honestly, I am like done with my poker story now, because I'm the worst storyteller of all time. I'm not one of those people who can drag out like a short story into, you know, a book. Like, I've never been a good storyteller, and I usually just tell like the main points of the story and I'm done. Like, I don't have this way of like painting a picture that people can kind of imagine in their heads. Like, I'm not a book writer, I'm not a storyteller in any way, so all of my stories, if I remember any, tend to be very, very, very short. But saying that, I'm sure this video is still probably going to end up being half an hour, because I feel like I've been talking a lot even though I haven't really been doing a lot of makeup. So I guess speaking of birthdays, I guess I will kind of talk about what I normally do on like a normal birthday these days. My husband and I, we live in Vegas, if you didn't already know that, but we have a restaurant here that we always go to on my birthday because it is my favorite. It's called Mastro's Ocean Club. I think it's a chain. I know they have one in New York as well, but I don't know how many there are. But they just have the best steak. They have the best sides. They have the best desserts. So every birthday for the last, I want to say 5 or 6 years, maybe even more than that, we've gone to Mastro's on my birthday. And this is going to be the first year that we're not, because of, you know, COVID. And it's just, I'm not gonna be that person who's like, my birthday is more important than a pandemic, you know? Like, it's not that big of a deal, you know? We're probably gonna go to the same place that we've been going for our date nights lately, which is the golf club that he has a membership at, because there's really never anybody there and there's outdoor seating. So we're probably gonna go there and just have a nice little meal and then come home, and I'm gonna make him play some games of Scrabble with me because it's my birthday and I can tell him what I want, and that's probably going to be my birthday present, because we don't really do gifts anymore. It's just one of those things when you've been together with someone for so long and you know, you're sharing a bank account, it's like, why am I gonna buy you something that you just could have bought yourself? It's both of our own money, you know? Like, gifts really aren't that important to me. I prefer just sharing experiences instead. And you know, if there is a thoughtful gift involved that's not like super expensive or anything, like that's fine, but we never put the pressure on each other to give each other gifts anymore, except for Christmas. I find Christmas to be a little bit different just because, you know, you're with family and everyone else is kind of giving each other gifts, and it's fun to just open gifts in front of everyone else, you know? But when it's just the two of us, we don't really ever bother with gifts anymore. And I'm kind of glad because I'm not really someone who enjoys trying to come up with gift ideas for people, because I just think that I am quite bad at it, if I'm being completely honest. And I also have no idea where I'm going with this look. I'm kind of just doing things here. Hopefully it's gonna turn out okay. But I found that a two-tone crease is usually a pretty safe bet, and I don't think I can really go too wrong with this. But can we just take a look at how good these colors are performing? I mean, this is just looking so good. Oh, did I tell you about the dessert at Mastro's? Oh my god, they have this dessert which is called the butter cake. I have no idea how it's made, but I'm guessing there's a lot of butter involved in it, but oh my god, it's so good. They always serve it hot. It comes out and it has a ball of ice cream on the top, and it's like drizzled in caramel sauce, and there's little pieces of strawberries, and it's just the best kind of fluffy and warm but gooey but also crusty cake at the same time. It's just, it's so good. It makes me so sad that I'm not gonna be able to get it this year, because I just love that dessert so much. We have found this new place though that we've been ordering cookies from lately. If you've been following me on Instagram, you've probably seen me show them a few times, but they're called Crumble Cookies, and every week they have a different menu and you can choose whichever cookies you want to get in your box. So we usually get a DoorDash to go get them for us, and you get 4 giant cookies like this in the flavors that you want with delivery for like $15. So we've been getting like one of those basically every week just because we want to try out all of the new cookies. So maybe we'll get some cookies that week as well. I mean, maybe, who am I kidding? Of course we're gonna get some cookies because it's my birthday and I deserve a cookie. I'm gonna take some of my NYX glitter primer and we're gonna go in with some shimmers now because I don't really feel like I have anything else birthday related to talk about. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about the makeup. Just gonna do a bit of a half cut crease with this. And for my lid, I want to use the shade right here as well as the yellow. So I'm going to start with this one. This one is called Strawberry. I'm going to place that in the middle of my lid and blend it outwards. And then for the inner portion, I'm going to use the gold shade, which is called Banana. Oh, I just love this shade so much. It's so beautiful. And these are just going to blend into such a beautiful orange. I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade here called Blue Raspberry and just pop a little bit of that like on my lower lash line here, because this is a beautiful shimmery blue. Maybe it's a little bit too dark for this, but oh well. I'm gonna put a little bit of that here anyway. And because I just want something a little bit brighter, I'm gonna take my Wooden's Eye, what is this one? The Mini Ocean palette, and I'm gonna take a little bit of this split pan blue right here. And I'm gonna put that in the front portion of my lower lash line and kind of layer it a little bit over that blue, just to lighten it up a little bit. Oh, that is just so cute and so glittery. Okay, I'm gonna finish off my eyes and I'll come back and we can do the rest of the face together. Okay, so I'm back. It's like 20 minutes later because I tried to put on lashes. I think I succeeded. It always takes so long for me to put on lashes. I swear to God, I'm just so bad at it. So the ones that I ended up going with are from Alter Ego. They did send me these. It's in the, I always want to say shade, but it's in the style Amour. So I had to cut off like quite a bit of this. These were like even more flared out. There were like 2 other ones like poking out this way that were longer that I had to cut off because my eyes are so small. And I still think that these are maybe a little bit too big for me, but I also kind of like them. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm not able to like place them properly in the outer corner. Like they're either like poking out too much or they're like too far in on my lid, but I feel like these look okay. At least I'm happy with it. And after all, it is my birthday tomorrow when you're seeing this. So we gotta celebrate. We gotta go all out, you know? So let's go ahead and put on some blush. Oh, in my waterline, I used Zulu from Colourpop. I'm gonna use this blush here from Color Effects. This one is in the shade Mojave Mauve. I'm gonna start with this one and then maybe layer a little bit of the shimmery one on top after, but I'm first gonna go in with the matte. And I know these blushes are very pigmented, but with this hair color, like I said a few times in the past, I feel like I need to be so heavy with my blush for my blush to even show up, because my hair is just like so bright that it just takes over. And I also feel that way with my eye makeup now. I feel like the brighter and more intense my hair is, the more bright and more intense my eye makeup needs to be, and just my makeup in general, because otherwise they don't really go with each other, but they compete. But I feel like if they're both of the same saturation and of the same strength, then it kind of goes together. Maybe that's just in my head, but that's just how I feel. I know a lot of people would be like, well, my hair is so bright that I want my makeup to be, you know, less bright, but I feel like in order for everything to look like it kind of comes together, it needs to be of the same intensity, which is probably just me being crazy and weird, but it's fine because that's who I am. I'm gonna blush my nose quite a bit here because I think it looks so cute. I'm also gonna do some freckles, which I don't usually do freckles after I have done all of my face products, but since I remember just now, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna use my freckle pen from Lime Crime. This is in the shade Amber. This is by far my favorite color. I have the one from Colourpop too, and I also have the darker one from Lime Crime, but this one just, I don't know, it's just the perfect subtleness, but it still kind of shows on my skin, and I just think it looks so cute. Sometimes I like to mix them and do like different colors so I get a little bit more variety and dimension, but honestly, if I just want like some subtle freckles, this is definitely my go-to. I just think that it always turns out so good. And also what I like about this is that I can actually go ahead and put it over the top of powders and stuff, and it still looks pretty good. Like I don't need to necessarily go in with anything over the top. Whereas with the Colourpop one especially, I feel like I need to always tap that one out because it's quite intense and it's very like dot-like, if that makes sense. Like it makes very sharp dots, whereas I feel like this one is way more subtle and kind of more soft, if that makes sense. I don't know. Do I want to do anything else in my inner corner? I kind of feel like I want to lighten up my inner corner a little bit, but maybe I'll do that with whatever highlighter I end up using. I think I want to use one of my favorite ones from Bitterlace Beauty, which is this one right here. This one is in the shade Electric. It's from their Kaleidoscope Glow collection. I just love these so much. They are just so beautiful and so intense. And since we are kind of going all out because it's my birthday, I want it to be nice and intense. So I'm gonna take my Alter Ego number 3 brush, which I've said in the past is an eyeshadow brush, but I love using it for like a more precise highlighting brush. Oh, it's just so pretty. It's so wet looking, and I just love the tone of this. Like I am a sucker for a yellow glittery highlighter. I can't help it. It is one of my favorites, and I also just feel like it goes with every single eye look that I do, because I can go warm tone and still use yellow, and I can also go cool tone and still use yellow. And if I'm using cool tones and warm tones in a look, I can still use yellow. You know, it's one of those very versatile shades. I can kind of pull in both directions. I'm gonna take a bit of this on my brow bone as well as my inner corner. Just gonna tap a little bit of that right in here just to kind of lighten it up and make those two colors mesh together. So all we got left is lips, and I'm really not sure what I want to do today. This is one of those cases where I'm like, I should just go with the color that's the same as my hair color, because at least it's going to all come together. So maybe that's what I'll do. I could also do some kind of a purple that goes with the outer corner shade, or I could maybe even do like a bit of a warm toned red, but I think I'm just gonna find an orange and I'm gonna play it safe. Okay, so the one that I went with is a combination that I've used before when I've had this hair color. This is a lip liner from Makeup Forever. It's in the shade Any Tangerine. And on top I used a Anna Sui lipstick. This one is in the shade F402. They did send me this from Octoly like 2 years ago, I think, but I just love these lipsticks. Like, just look at that. Isn't that just so beautiful? I just love these so much. So that's gonna be the final look, I think. That's all I have for you today. Let me know how you feel about these kind of more story timey type videos. Not something I'm going to be doing a lot, because honestly, my memory is so bad, like I said before, that I have forgotten like most details about pretty much everything that's happened in my life, because my memory is so bad. But I do enjoy doing these from time to time, and it's nice for you guys to maybe get to know me a little bit more. Were any of you surprised by any of the things that I said today? I'm guessing a lot of you probably were, and the people who have been wanting me to talk more about this are probably very happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out Katie. Her channel is so amazing. I will of course have her linked everywhere so you can go check her out. Happy birthday again to both of us. And if you want to see some other collab videos that I've done in the past, here is my collab playlist. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.